Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Enrichment on the Go. I'm Tanya Lofty and I'm here with Miss Keyanna Williams. And today we're going to be talking to you about how to build your child's vocabulary. And this is something that I feel is really important as well, because oftentimes with children of the African American children, Hispanic children, we often see where there's a disparity with reading and language, right? And so we want to make sure that we are giving them all of the tools they need from an early start, so that they are able to build on vocabulary. Because if they can, understand diction, reading, and comprehension are the biggest pieces to all of the other pieces of education. So we need your child to be able to read phonetically, know phonics. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Phonics is not gone out of style. I know they try to mask it in they mask it in too many ways for me.
Yeah.
It's just phonics. They're like, no, let's read a whole sentence. How about we just start with hello and our diction, right? We're going to talk about proper diction, especially when you're talking to children. It's not, and I understand, we may have our slang, we have our lingo, right? It's like, hey, or ain't nobody, I don't, it's the truth, because this is how we talk,
right?
At times, right? But when we're talking to our children, we want to make sure we're pronouncing hello and smiling with our words, especially infants and toddlers. Oh boy, what's that? Oh wow. So these are ways that we're going to start talking about vocabulary. And even when they're in the womb, when I had Dr. Campbell on, we talked about this. In the womb, talk to your child. My husband and I did that with both of our children. He would say hello, hey, and he would be in there moving. And I remember the first day not the first day he was born. How does that sound? He could only be born the first day. What is that?
The first day.
But when he was first born is what I'm getting at. And he came out, my husband said hi to him. And he was literally trying to form words with his lips. His lips were moving. And it was such an emotional moment for my husband and I, because it's like, oh my gosh, he's really trying to talk. But we were already talking to him, playing music, all of those things when they were in the womb. So vocabulary starts well before, right? Because they know your voice. Talk to your baby in the womb. Sing to your baby. Watch them move. Touch them. Hey, you in there? How are you today? All of that. It builds a real connection. I mean, they're in your stomach, but what I'm saying is it's just this special bond. And it's a way to express yourself. I love you. Talk to your child. I love you. I know you're hungry in there today. I'm hungry too. Mommy's going to feed you. Those type of things. It's okay for you to talk to your child within the womb. So let's talk about building child's vocabulary. How do you feel, even with infants? Let's talk about it from an infant perspective.
Right.
During diaper changes.
And I think that's a huge thing, just knowing that the foundation of their literacy starts in the womb. Like, that's weird. But it's so cool how language can be contagious.
I like that.
Yeah, like it literally is. So for me, even just like when you, like, just how you said you saw him forming the language, like when you see, and they're children, they're sponges. So once you see that they have absorbed some aspect of language, it's so amazing to watch. Even down to just like pot, or just like short words, or no, like, simple things. One, they're comprehending.
I was going to say that. That's great. Yes.
Yeah.
They're comprehending.
Even if they say no all day, they're comprehending that you're asking them something. And they're like, no. But it's
a toddler's favorite word.
Yeah. And literally, and it's so like multifaceted how literacy is, starting with phonics, phonemic awareness, letter recognition, like all of that stuff plays a part in it. Just starting with basic sounds or just the concept of language we're humans. We communicate through language. Like that's how we communicate.
And I like what you said, because you can know, a child can recognize their letters, but phonetically not know how to sound them. So that's where the comprehension piece comes in. And we have to make sure that they are able to do both. So these are all, like you said, multifaceted. And let's even talk about building your child's vocabulary, because we speak as humans, even nonverbal communication. So, what are you projecting and how are you projecting it? I had an infant, actually today, he had one of the magnifying glasses and he put it up to his eye. And I said, "Oh, I see you." And then he took it away. I said, "Oh, I don't see you. Can I?" And he put it back. "Oh," I said, "Oh, I see you." And this was at 1, and so he stopped doing it and I covered my eyes and I said, "Oh, I want to, play peekaboo." And those type of things are all things that engage the child in vocabulary.
And I will say the students that in my opinion do very well with vocabulary are the students who families talk to them the most, and not just baby talk.
I was gonna say, let's talk about the baby talk.
You talk about the baby talk, because
Dad, mama loves you. No, mommy loves you. How are you? Good morning. Not, I don't know, Dad. I mean, just these almost one syllable. That's not what we're looking for. We want to say good morning. How are you? Hello. With expression, right? Because even with vocabulary, expression, is very important. Parents, you might be tired. "Hi, mommy's tired today." So they can know even the tone in your voice, right? Or good morning. But you want the baby talk is a no-no.
I actually have a coworker, and we joke. If she ever watches this, would be hilarious. But we joke because she talks so much. Like, she's so talkative. Her child is probably a little maybe 18 months and talks so much. And it's literally because your mother talks so much and the child picked it up. And it's so funny to me because, I mean, obviously if, we put a paper in front of her, she might not be able to read it, but she, if she's speaking and I'm typing, I could write a whole paper because she's talking so much. And that is just basically vocabulary. Vocabulary doesn't really have to do with letters and, all of, letters. Is literally just the formation of words and sounds and, things like that as the child speaks. And also a big part of it is just, giving them the chance to speak.
I think that is very
to
important.
Really just
express themselves.
Yeah. Cause I know sometimes even if a child is babbling, I'm like, and you did what? And she said what? We have a whole conversation and I know you are saying whatever, but just giving you that time to engage in a conversation. I think that's important.
I love doing, one thing I've always loved to do is with they pick up the play phone and they'll give you they pick up the phone. So I'll pick up the phone or I'll take it from them and I'll say, "Hello. Hi." It's, have a whole conversation and they're watching, right?
Yes.
"How are you?" "Oh, you want to speak to Kai. Kai, can you talk right now?" And they're looking at me like,
I think so.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Okay, hold on. No, I'm gonna go now, but Kai's available." And I'll give them the phone, right?
Yes.
And they're like walking home.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm like, oh my goodness.
So funny, but it's building language, it's building vocabulary, comprehension, because they know when you're on the phone, you're talking to someone, so they see it being acted out and modeled. And so I really enjoy that. And I remember,
I'm sorry not to cut you off, but even just sometimes if you ask them a question, they'll say, use your words.
Yes.
Like,
please say that again.
Like, using your words. Like, encourage them to use the vocabulary that they do have. Like, if you want something, like, don't just you know how,
yes,
you know, like, use your words. And I know you say that, like,
all the
all
time.
the time.
And even when, but it's important that they do use their words. And parents, I want to encourage you at home, because even though that's nonverbal communication, we want them talking as much as possible, right? Because, okay, and you point to you want a juice, okay? And make sure it's 100% juice. Okay, I said that. But, you know, juice, or what would you like? You know, offer choices. You know, would you like, are you pointing to the bottle of water? Even if they say, you mean yes?
Yes.
Right? So these are ways you get them to talk. And even when the children come into the program in the morning, we greet them, right? Good morning. And some, you know, sometimes they don't want to. And I'm like, are you okay? Or I'll tap the shoulder. Hello. I say hello to you. Just, you know, you can acknowledge me. You don't have to have a whole conversation, but making those connections and that vocabulary. Hello, you know, and especially even with, you know, if parent, mom or dad, when you're listening to this and they interrupt you, you know, and you're talking. I have children, they'll interrupt. Oh, Miss Tanya. And I said, did you see me in a conversation? I hear you, but I was talking. You should say, excuse me. So it's not that I don't want to hear what you're saying, but even with vocabulary, and oftentimes when it's time for them to go to the potty, right? I always interchange the words. So I don't always say, let's go potty. Do you need to go to the restroom? Do you have to go to the bathroom? Because you want to expand their vocabulary, right?
And even when you were talking about in the beginning, just you know, how us as adults, we can code switch. So we can use our, you know, one day, or depending on who we're talking to, ain't you gonna do, you know, but then the second, you know, depending on the setting, you know, we can tighten up our language. And young ones, they don't understand that concept yet. Like, eventually when they get older, they can understand, you know, like, you know, when I'm joking, I can talk like this, or, you know, they have the code switching. Young ones do not. So if you're introducing to that language so early,
yeah, that's a good point.
And then like expect them to have that ability to, you know, that's not how we talk. You know, it's really hard, because I have some students who I'm explaining to their parents, if that's how you're talking to them at home, that's the language that they're going to carry into this classroom.
And then how does that relay? And parents, it's almost rhetorical. So think about that, because then how does that relay, or, you know, how does that relate to the child, right? Because now we're trying to teach them, I can ride my bike, but they don't understand.
They're like, I ride my bike.
Right. So we have to teach them. That's what I was going back to, the proper diction. And so we have to teach them that. And I want to be very clear, parents, you may have to teach yourself that. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. Don't look at it as though, you know, you're, you know, illiterate or anything of that nature. This is to help you and give you tools and resources, and even for yourself, which, you know, I think it's a good thing, because you all can even grow together. You know, we're never
learn new words together.
Yes, I love it. And I remember, you know, even with the children you know, I love vocabulary with them. I remember when my youngest son went to kindergarten. The youngest. And, you know, most children with letter C words, you know, the first word, what starts with the letter C? And they usually say cat. My son said constellation and chinchilla. And the teacher was like, okay. but it's because of the vocabulary
and his exposure.
His exposure. This is what I want. That's where I was going. You want to immerse them in it, right? So I mean, I don't know. Blue's Clues is probably still not on, but I love Blue's Clues.
But it's completely different.
I heard it was really bad. So, this is not a commercial for Blue's Clues. That part. However, you want to make sure that you are finding words, build on their vocabulary, right? And also, even with cat, they may say cat, or okay, fine. Yes, that's a cat. But what is a baby cat called? Kitten. All of this is expanding their vocabulary. Kangaroo. And what I want you all to understand, you have to be very clear when you are pronouncing the words to them. Okay? Especially with early childhood, this is something that we really do. And I actually learned this when I was going through my special education, getting my certificate. With children who have delays or comprehension, what you can do, parent, is put their hand on your cheek, okay, and pronounce the word. So I'm just going to give an example. Kangaroo, not kangaroo, all right? Or like ABCD. You heard children, ABCD, F, G, H, I, J, K. And they get to elemental P, Q, R, S. No. A, B, C, D. Even when you're singing it, E, F, G. Slow the song down. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Because normally it's elemental P. No, that's not a whole word. It's those are all letters. So L, M, N, O, P. So even for you, you have to, form the words. But when they are listening, when you put their hand and then have them repeat, they're picking up the vibration, and they can hear it. So I do that quite often with some of the younger children, especially if they almost have a word and they don't have it all the way. I will slow them down and say, can just add that piece in so that they can understand, and have them repeat me. And then it helps them to get it. All right. So we're giving you some tools with that. Also with vocabulary, songs. Children love music.
Yes.
It is the easiest way, one, to get them moving. You want them to sit still. No, let's get the wiggles out. Make up a song. I'm famous for that, making up songs. I need to make that CD. I'm gonna drop it. And make up songs, puppetry. When you are reading the book, read with expression. Okay, read with expression, and have your child read to you. It doesn't have to mean they know all of the words in the book, right? But they can open the book. You want to help them to learn to turn the pages. All of this is preparing them for reading and vocabulary. I promise you, parents. Have them turn the page. Can you turn the page for mommy? Very good. So you want to have them turning the pages. You want to get them engaged because they're the ones that are learning. You are assisting with the learning. So build on the vocabulary. You have anything else about building on vocabulary or scaffolding or anything like that?
Not other than what we just touched on, but also just like I think the emphasis that we put on it too is make it fun.
Yes.
Like make it fun. I think because at the same time they're young, and if it feels like something, what am I trying to? How am I trying to put this?
It feels like work. It's really work.
Yeah, or if it's boring, like they're gonna just make it exciting. Just even when we were talking about just communicating, how you were talking about with the phone, like incorporate it into play. Like what are you doing? Like what she's doing? Like what is she doing? Like get them talking as much as you can, and just if you think about it, like we talk so much during the day.
That's true.
And just be mindful that there's a little person watching you.
That's really good.
And yeah, I think that's just be mindful that there's a little person watching you. They're listening to the things you say, how you say it, when you say it,
and they're gonna model the behavior, whether it's
so
good
if
or
every
bad.
time you are upset with them, if you're cursing, and then you're confused on why I'm calling you to tell you your child is using this language in my class, and you're like, I don't know where they got that from.
Well, my parents, some of them are honest. They're like, oops, I said that.
My parents be lying. I'm like, you don't know? You have no idea.
No.
Yes. No. I'm like, okay.
So we have to learn to even model that, parents, because it's gonna come out. It's just gonna come out. So it was something we were talking about with that. Oh, so let me say this because it's very important. If you notice your child is having reading delays, reading comprehension, or vocabulary before 3rd grade, I want to be very specific. Please have them go to a speech pathologist.
Let's go
back.
Because, I say 1st grade.
Yeah, because, and I said,
I think that's proactive.
No, yeah, because, and I was saying that because that's like the last, because if they're not reading by 3rd grade, parents, depending on the ethnicity of your child, they could be building a jail cell. So this is why I'm asking or putting that out there, because we have to be informed as parents. And oftentimes parents aren't informed. If you know that your child has a can't read, or the vocabulary or speech delays or developmental delays, because again, this is laying the foundation for every subject. Vocabulary, reading is fundamental. Reading is fundamental. I would suggest you get, phonics, go over with your child. This is something you can do with your child every day. I suggest doing it every day. Take 5 or 10 minutes. You don't have to do the whole alphabet or whatever, but you want them to understand what sounds. Okay, so there's a song I know about, the Vowel Song, and then because there's short sounds to vowels and long sounds to vowels. And I remember my oldest, when he went to school, he spelled everything phonetically because what I taught him. So he spelled it just like it sounded. And but that wasn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
It's excellent because that means they understand and can hear the sounds. So we want to give you tools, tips, resources, and so go find videos. And I say video, when I say find the videos, I'm not telling you to let them look at them. I said find the video and then don't let them look at the video. Okay. Let them hear it. They don't have to always see it. Let them hear.
Let them take a turn with the radio in the car. You don't always have to play your music.
That's good.
Let them play, play a song or a lullaby if you're trying to really put them to sleep. or
like I like to say, classical music when they're younger. So I did that one time, and they felt like they were older. They were about 10 and they felt tortured. But I was like, you all are going to listen to this classical music? And they were like, no. I was like, yes. But it was worth it.
Yes. But just giving them that time. And sometimes just turn it off. Just talk. How was your day?
Thank you.
Yeah. Turn it off.
Man, that's good right there. You talk about peace of mind. Parents, talk about peace of mind and let them tell you, because they're going to tell you anyway. So this is a great way when you're talking about vocabulary for you to stay in tune and know what's going on with your child, because they'll be able to tell you. All right. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.